Hi everyone, my name is Leanne, and 2 years ago I met a man called Michael Cozzi, who I fell in love with, who I tried to help and I tried to save, and I want to tell my story. And the story is that I met Michael on the 3rd of October 2011, and he was sitting in the back of the Three Kings. And you know, we hit it off, and we switched numbers, and we developed a relationship. About 4 months in, I fell in love with Michael, unaware that he was not an alcoholic. I did my best to get Michael the help that he deserved. He deserved the best help ever. He didn't deserve any of this. I couldn't leave Michael. I couldn't walk away from Michael, so I stuck by him. Each day was getting harder and harder for Michael. I took him to AA. I took him to many hospital appointments, but he developed more things that went wrong with his health. It wasn't until I was at work, working in my shop, that I got a phone call one day to say that Michael died, that Michael broke his ankle. Sorry, Michael broke his ankle, and that he was rushed to hospital. And I got a phone call from the girl that was in with him to say that he's in pain. They've called an ambulance, and the ambulance hasn't come yet. So this girl who works at the petrol garage passed the phone over to me, and I said, "Is he okay? Is he in any pain?" And Michael said to me, when I got the phone, he said, "Please, babe, come up quick. I need you here with me." So I dropped everything and left my work in Chelmsford and drove all the way up from Chelmsford in Essex to Bury St Edmunds Hospital, called West Suffolk Hospital, where I found Michael laying on a trolley. I walked in, and he was like, "Oh, hello babes, how are you?" And it was so nice to see him upright, but I thought, oh, you know, what have you done now? You know, well, what's happened? You know, and he explained that he broke his ankle. Anyway, they kept him in. They had to put a plaster on Michael. They had to keep him in hospital. Anyway, but while he was in hospital, they couldn't control his diabetes. His diabetes was going up and down all the time. And then one night, he went into the ICU. He got quite bad. I didn't get no phone call from no one. It was only until the next day that I went up to the ward to see where Michael was. And they told me that Michael was in the ICU. I walked in there unaware. A nurse did say, "Prepare yourself." And I went in there and I asked what was going on, and the nurse, she said, "Well, we can't control his diabetes, and his temperature's going up and down all the time." So he was in there for about 3 weeks, but he was gradually coming round. But when I first saw him laying in the bed with a tube in his mouth, this man that I've tried so much to help, to come off the drink, I have to stop drinking, laying there, I was in shock more than anything. Anyway, weeks went by, well, about a week went by where, you know, he was coming round. You know, his mother would turn up and be by his side. His dad come all the way down from County Durham in up north, and you know, his mum had some words with me about that. Anyway, I decided to make my own mind up about people. I speak as I find, you know. Anyway, Michael came out of hospital, and he, within about a week later, he went straight back on the drink. Cut a long story short, because there's so much, and he went back into, he came out of hospital, and within a week later he was back on the alcohol. But this time it got worse, because he couldn't drink, because what happened was he had to have a peg replaced into his tummy, because he couldn't eat or swallow anything, because the neck here, you've got your where you swallow, you've got two pipes, and they wasn't working, so a lot of his food and like a liquid was going down to his lungs. He had a problem with the back of his neck going in like that, and I can't remember the name of it, but he had a problem, so he couldn't eat or drink via his mouth. Anyway, well, I would treat Michael with, you know, every day I would give him his feeds, I would go to work, I'd get up in the morning at 6 to go to work in Essex and come back home to Michael's every night and nurse him and love him and try his best to say, come on Michael, you can do this, you don't need alcohol, you're going to have a life. Sorry, this is really painful me doing this video, because there's so much that I want to talk about, but I can't get the words right. Oh, well, anyway, I would drive every day to look after Michael and be there for Michael, and you know, I would have our ups and downs about it all. I took him to AA, and I sat by his side while he was crying next to me, and I held his hand and I said, Michael, you can do this. If not, Michael, just do it for yourself. Just do it for you. Not do it for me. You got to do this for yourself as well. No one wants you to die. And that was my fear of losing Michael all along. And that's why I took a step back, because that was my fear. Like, I didn't want to lose this man that I fell in love with, and now, you know, he's ill. I just wanted to do the best that I could, basically. So, he went a couple of times, but then he just gave up and said it isn't doing him any good, and all that. I said, Michael, then you got to go to your doctors. I'll take you to your doctors and we'll get you some tablets. So I was driving him around getting his tablets from the hospital. His tablets that he's got to take with the alcohol to help stop the drinking, but that would cause him to throw up. So he stopped taking the tablets. So I said, Michael, but these are the effects that it's going to have on you, because you need to take these. So he would, you know, he would try, even though they did make him feel sick. But he did try to take these tablets that tried to help him go off the alcohol. They didn't like their taste of the alcohol. And I think, you know, with that, he just gave up, because what he was doing, he was sticking alcohol into his peg, and it come to a blow where I said, Michael, I can't watch you do this to yourself anymore. I've got to go. So I left. But then I went back again, because I couldn't leave this man who lost his wife two and a half years ago. He had no one there. He had no one. I couldn't leave him. I loved him. And I wanted a life with this man. You know, I thought I could save him. I thought I could save Michael. I really thought I could do it on my own. If only I had support. His dad supported him as much as he could. His mother supported him, but it just wasn't enough. He needed a lot of support. But nobody was inviting me into their lives, because Michael's family, the only family that welcomed me was his father and his stepmother and Tony, his other brother. They didn't seem to get that I was there for their son, and they should have been happy that Michael had someone that was doing this for Michael, that was trying to help him. That's all I was doing. And that kills me, because they never really knew how much I was actually doing. I was doing things all the time, and it just got to a point where they were just driving a wedge between me and Michael. His dad always knew where I came from and knew that I wanted to save Michael. But his mother, she just didn't like me, and she didn't like anyone in Michael's life, to be honest with you. And I don't know why that was, because Michael deserved to be loved. He deserved to find the right person to love him. But any of his partners or ex-wives, she never liked. But anyway, this isn't about her, this is about Michael. Anyway, I did the best that I can for Michael, and I did the best that I could. It wore me out. About 3 weeks before Michael died, you know, I was still going around there and stuff, because Michael ended up back in hospital again with things wrong with his diabetes, and then they couldn't control it. But what Michael was actually doing, he was actually getting alcohol from outside the hospital, and he was drinking it via his tube and his peg. I used to go up there, and I used to see him, and I used to walk out, because I used to see him laying there, and he used to say, "Oh, babes, it's the medication." And I say, "But you're not on any a medication. You're here to sort out your diabetes. You're not here for that." So I couldn't understand that. And it just got to a point where I just thought, you know, what do I do? You know, I'm trying my best. Anyway, I was at home, and I called Michael, and I said, "Michael, you know, you really got to sort this out now, because I love you. And he said, babes, I love you too. I'm going to do it for you. I promise you. And he was saying things like, they're going to get you a room at the hospital. You're going to have a room here. And you're going to be here. And everything's going to be lovely. And that's what he wanted. He told everyone that's what he wanted. He wanted me there. All the time he wanted me. But he was being pulled back. And all what he wanted was love. And to be loved again. He deserved that. Anyway, that was what he would tell everyone. His dad, even Margaret, Michael's, to me. And Margaret is more like a mother to me than his real mother, because she comes from the normality of how to love a child. I'm sorry, but that is how it is. I mean, she knows what love is in people, and that's what normal people do. You know, you want the best for your children, obviously. It doesn't mean that they're going to run away and leave their mothers, because they don't. They just move on and have families of their own. And that's all what Michael ever wanted. Well, cut a long story short again, Michael, I used to go up there and stuff, but when Michael come out of hospital, it must have been about a week or two, I think. I was at work the day before, and I called Michael up, and I said, Michael, I'll be over tomorrow about 6 o'clock-ish. I've got to take my aunt to the doctor's. So he said, okay. Anyway, didn't think anything of it. The next day, I was driving around to the doctor's, and I had Miss Cozzi in my bag, and there was a voicemail, an unusual voicemail, and I looked at it and I thought, who's it from? And it was from Margaret. And you know, I know that we talk and everything, you know, but it was quite of a surprise, an email, because voicemail, because when I dialed to hear the voicemail, I could tell on her voice that something was wrong, and I knew by the tone of her voice that something was wrong. So I called her back, and this was about 2, 3 in the afternoon. About 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I was just about to go over to Michael's at 6. And it was Margaret. I called Margaret back, and I said, Margaret, what's going on? You know, what's happening? Because the voicemail said, and I can hear it to this day, she said, Leanne, it's Margaret. Please call me back. It's urgent. It's Margaret. And she called me back. And so I called her back, and that was when she told me that Michael had died. And I said, how? And I said, how did he die? And I was told that he had a heart attack at home, and that he was being taken to hospital, and they tried to resuscitate him, and they brought him back again, and then his heart went again, and then he died, and then then he went. But you know, I had to deal with losing Michael. I'm still grieving for him now. It's only been 3 months, but it's all a big mess at the moment, because I'm still trying to get every little piece together. But I went to his funeral. But before I went to his funeral, I went to see Michael in the home, where they keep them at the home, and I had to say goodbye to Michael. I had to say goodbye personally. And I was sitting in there, and it didn't even look like Michael. It looked like someone else. And this man, he was sitting next to me. He wouldn't leave my side. It was like he was told to stay there. It was just weird. But I looked at Michael, and it didn't even look like Michael, but it wasn't. I said to the man, can I see his finger? Because I know if it is Michael, because the top of his finger was chopped off. Because Michael, you used to work as an engineer. And they showed me his finger. And that's when I lost it. And that's when I knew it was Michael. And all I kept hearing was the last conversation that I had with Michael the night before, telling me that he loves me. He wants to be with me, and his last wish was that he wants to be with me. And he told his dad that a couple of days, I think, before he died, that he wanted to be with me. He's now going to finally do it. He's going to finally break away from his mother's chains, and he's going to finally be with me, and we can move on, and we can get a life together. That's all what I wanted. I just wanted him to come off the drink, and for us to have a happy ending. Both of us. We both deserved it. I lost someone years ago, so we both deserved a happy ending in our life. I went to Michael's funeral, and it was a fuzz to me, because the family, the Michael's mum's side of the family, it was awkward. It was not nice. It wasn't nice at all. All I wanted to do was to be, you know, a normal family with have you all there and everything else, but it was divided. The funeral was divided. And there was not one mention of Michael's dad at Michael's funeral. Michael's dad was not mentioned once, as far as I can remember, and that was awful. Now, to me, that ain't normal. That ain't normal. That is spiteful. That is what people do, if they are spiteful. And they barred a lot of people from Michael's funeral, even his friends. And they were bad. And they were good friends with Michael that I've known him for years. Sorry. It just breaks my heart to know that this person that Michael had in his life did this to Michael. She stopped Michael from having a life, and she stopped Michael from having a life that he could have had with me, with anyone else. But somewhere down the line, Michael got hooked on alcohol, and it's either to hide things, I believe, or you know, you can make your own mind up on that. But Michael died on the 17th of October 2013, a day that I will never forget. His funeral was on the 8th of November 2013. So Michael died on the 17th of October. His funeral was on the 8th of November. And the inquest into Michael's death was he died through a condition, which I had it here somewhere. Okay, it's called. It's to do with the diabetes, but it can be brought on by alcohol poisoning. It's all basically what Michael died of, because Michael was an alcoholic and he used to drink quite a lot. But Michael used to drink all the time. But with Michael's condition, he had type 1 diabetes. Now with that, you're not supposed to drink at all. It's got too much sugar in alcohol. So that triggered something off with the alcohol in Michael's body, with the diabetes, all mixed up together, basically killed Michael. And with all these illnesses that Michael had, the death certificate will say the cause of death. I did have the name of it. I believe it's called. It's quite a long name. It begins with a K. But anyway, what I do, I'll type that out on here, what he died of. But we didn't get that until 2014. We got I wasn't like an inquest as such. It was just, you know, they eventually told Michael's dad, you know, what he died of, and it's a long word, I can't describe it, but it's to do with the sort of like you get acid on your lungs and on your tummy and all that, because Michael couldn't swallow either. So every time Michael would want to drink, he would have to spit it out into a cup, even his own saliva. He did that for a whole year. He used to spit his own saliva out into a cup by his bedside. He couldn't do that either. He couldn't swallow nothing when he had his pegging. And he had his pegging till the day he died as well. So it was all combined into one. That is what I believe in. And I believe truly that Michael died, that his body just gave up. His body just gave up. They brought his heart round, and then he went into a coma or with his diabetes, and his body just gave up. Because, and I think he might. I just wish he wasn't in any pain, and I wished I was there. I wished I was there for Michael when he died. I really wished I was there. My life was never going to be the same again without Michael. I mean, I just want to be with him. Severely want to be with him. I love him. And I'm trying to make sense of this. What I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you how he died in a dignified way. But I'm finding it very hard to even, you know, think straight, because I'm grieving right now. I'm trying to make this video, but the trouble is I can't live without him. I went all the way with Michael. Every energy that I had in my body, I gave to him. Everything I had in my heart, I gave to him, because I was hoping that I could fix him. I was hoping that I could change him and amend him and save his life, and for him to stop drinking, and for him to go out and get a job, you know, for us two to move forward in our relationship. you know, it's just a tragic all round for everyone. But everyone seems to have forgotten about me. That I was the one that was standing by his side all the time. And I just want people to know that I love him. And I don't think I can make... I don't think that I can carry on my life anymore. I'm going to bereavement counselling to try and get some help. But the pain of losing him, all he wanted was love. That's all I ever wanted. We both had a lot in common, me and Michael. We had a lot in common. His wife died. My first one died, Sean, years ago. He died of a heart attack in bed next to me in my house in Cambridge years ago. I was about 21, and he died in bed with me, and we was together for about 4 or 5 years. But he was my first love, and he died. So I knew how it felt when Michael's wife died, and I was there for him. I didn't think I'll ever fall in love with him. Like I said, it was 4 months in that me and Michael knew that we was going to be together. We both found love, and we wanted this. We wanted this. We wanted to be together. But he was being pulled one way, and I was trying to pull him up, and he was being pulled the other way. If he was just left, he'll be here today. He'll be here today. If I would have just carried on doing what I was doing, the family, Michael's mum's side of the family, they pulled Michael back when I was trying to pull Michael up, and the poor man had no chance. His mind, he couldn't take in what was going on. You know, they were telling lies about me to Michael, that they were trying to twist Michael's mind, play on his vulnerability, which to me is disgusting. They played on Michael's vulnerability to the end, and that's just, I just can't talk about that because that's sick. But Michael, he needed to break away from his mother's chain, and unfortunately it was too late. He was gonna, but it was too late. But by then he died, and now I've got to carry on with my life, and I can't. I don't know which way to turn. What do I do? I just want to stay with him. I'll do a proper video when I'm more up to this. But I just thought I'd tell anyone out there that wants another story of something in our life. It's like, you know what? When you find love in life, don't ever let it go. Because it's so precious. And I might not ever find a love again. I might not ever find that again in anyone, because I gave it all to Michael. I don't have any more love to give to no one. So, you know, this just a little video about Leanne Dale. The girl that loved Michael. I am 38 years old, coming on for 40 in a year and a half, And all I wanted was just to find love and to have a family of my own and to settle down and just be happy and healthy. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be, was it? Anyway, I'll talk some more. I'm Leanne Down. I hope that you can understand some of this. Bye.